Do you know about Association of Indian Management Schools? It's a 34-year-old networking body of B schools in India, having a membership of about 600 top management institutions. AIMS focuses on professionalization of management education, protects interests of B schools, represents management institutions at national and international forums, financially supports members in academic events, funds research projects on management, disseminates management-related knowledge through its annual Management Education Convention, conferences, seminars, roundtables and workshops, organizes free weekly webinars on knowledge sharing and inspiring young leaders sessions for management faculty and students, supports B schools in admissions through Atma, AIMS test for management admissions. Visit https://atmaims.com for more details. Publishes a biannual AIMS Journal of Management. Visit https://aimsjournal.com for more details. Circulates a quarterly e-newsletter on AIMS activities. Conducts workshops on case writing. Encourages AIMS members to be part of decision-making processes as members of chapter management committees and the executive board. Encourages students' participation in free weekly quiz competitions by providing support to interested institutions. Facilitates networking and interaction among B schools. Why would you like to remain a non-member of AIMS? Pay a very low one-time membership fee and enjoy many lifetime benefits. Visit https://aims.org.in for more details.
We'll start, sir.
Yeah. Professor Ajay, Professor Ajay Kumar, can you come
Yeah,
on?
I am here. I am here. Namaste.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let's start the session today.
Yeah.
And I welcome all the participants who have joined this knowledge sharing session of Professor Ajay Kumar, who is going to deliver a session which is a non-conventional topic of mind management, which is quite related to the management subject as such. In fact, when he suggested to me mind management, so I was wondering what it means. But then when I went through the details, I understood exactly what it is and the relevance of it for all, not only management students, but also faculty, but also other students and faculty members, which is very, very relevant. We need to understand in terms of managing our activities through critical thinking and managing our time limits. And that is possible only through mind management. I remember and I also follow some principles in terms of mind management when I believe that when a situation is a problem, the mind management is important. So mind management is something when a situation is a problem. And mind management is also important when an opportunity comes, how the people have to take the opportunity. And it is also important how the people should be strong enough to face the challenges what they face in the life, because we have been witnessing a lot of students and professionals who are committing suicides, and which is very pathetic, very, very pathetic. And it is being criticized that in our educational curriculum, we don't prepare our students and the people to be very strong in terms of their mentality, strong building strong mind. So this is what I find that Professor Ajay has chosen this topic very aptly, and I congratulate him, Professor Ajay Singh. And Professor Ajay Singh is right now, is a professor and dean of Delhi School of Economics, and we are associated with various organizations, and I know him for the last 20 years, and is a very strong orator, academician, researcher, and more than that, now in terms of the background of the topic that he has chosen, he is also a mentor for many students, faculty members. So that's how I would say Professor Ajay Singh is the right person to be here on this platform of AIMS to help us to share his thoughts. And now, in terms of his professional background, so Professor Singh has almost 33 years of teaching experience, and almost 33 students have been awarded PhD under his guidance, and 12 MPhil students. And more than that, he has been associated with various organizations in various capacities. So this is not the time to give the detailed biodata of him, but then you can watch his biodata on on the Facebook or anywhere, wherever you want to see. Professor Ajay Singh is considered to be, in my opinion, is the best academician. He has won a lot of laurels, because I myself personally was a judge in awarding the best research papers on various occasions. And he was considered, his paper or his student paper was considered to be the best paper. So therefore, I can watch that Ajay Kumar Singh is the best person, academician, researcher, and then more than that, a best human being. And Professor Ajay Kumar Singh was the son of Professor. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall Ajay.
Professor B.P. Singh.
Professor B.P. Singh, whom we consider as the godfather of commerce and management. And he is still very active. He comes to various conferences. So I don't want to boast Professor Ajay Singh in terms of his CV copy, but then straight away I can introduce uh, Professor Ajay Singh. Then please take over the session. And now this session, when I went through your PPT, it would go for more than 1 hour. But then time limit is only 40 minutes for you, which is followed by a question and answer session. And I need to warn all the participants in this online meeting that you have to put all your questions, whatever you want to raise, through only chat box. You can't answer because you are muted. Okay, and please remember this. This one point. So instantly put your questions in the chat box, and then Professor Ajay Singh, as well as myself and my felicitator, will also follow up those questions. The second important instruction is that all the participants have to fill up the feedback form during the question and answer sections, Q&A session, as been instructed through mail to all of you in the last session, question and answer session. And you have to fill that feedback form. Only those who fill the feedback form will get the certificates. Those who fail to fill the feedback form, I'm sorry, and that will be a problem for you to get the certificates, online certificates. So please remember this. So putting questions in the chat box and then filling the feedback form during the question and answer session, and that feedback form will be available for you during the last 15 minutes of the session. And during that period, you need to fill it. So I hope all of you would enjoy the session of Professor Ajay Singh. Professor Ajay Singh is going to speak on mind management. So over to you, Professor Ajay Kumar.
Thank you very much, Professor B. Ramesh ji, our past president of Indian Commerce Association and now deeply associated with Association of Indian Management Schools, AIMS, making it more vibrant by his presence and conducting sessions one after the other throughout India, engaging people, making us also involved into AIMS more and more. So thank you very much, Professor B. Ramesh ji, for giving me this opportunity to be associated with AIMS in this platform. And I remember about 3 decades ago, we visited first time your university when you were there in Goa, and we stayed there also and had this session in your MBA students with them and all that. And then the journey started after that in Indian Commerce Association. We have been meeting for so many years since then. So it's great. The topic is mind management today, and those who are from management background, they understand what management is. I see a lot of senior people also in this. Professor Bharat Singh ji from Lucknow, he has joined, and many other people are there. I can't take name of all the people. So it's great to see more than 100. That is the exact count right now in this. Those who are here, let me share the screen with you. Mind is something which is to be, always, like we say, there are 5 koshas, as we say. So mind is somewhere there, in between that. Like we say, Annamaya Kosh is one kosha. Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. So all these are different koshas. We know the physical form of our body. So that is the first layer of our existence. That is Annamaya Kosh. So as we move up in that ladder, we see that things go more subtler. Like the breath that we take is the next level. We can feel it that we are taking the breath, but it's not that much physical as our physical bodies. Can you see my full screen now?
No, you have to move to full screen, otherwise we can't see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I am sharing.
Full screen.
Now, can you see the full screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the agenda, how much we can cover today, because this is only about 40 minutes. So we will not go in too much of detail. If you have questions, you can obviously ask those questions. The andragogy is Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasan. So when you are listening, it should be deep listening. And Manan is like contemplating on what you are listening to. And then if you commit to practice from today onwards, then there is some purpose of doing this exercise with you investing 1 hour. Professor Ramesh was saying that I am the host of 74th All India Commerce Conference, and prior to organizing the conference, how you are saying yes to this. But it is always good to speak about this particular topic particularly, and to be engaged in the teaching learning process. And especially there are teachers here. So if even one mind gets ignited with the higher purpose of living, my purpose of investing this 1 hour is, fruitful. So as UNESCO in 1996 report says, there are 4 pillars of learning. Generally, in the classroom, we are limited to learning to no aspect of it. And nowadays, the government has started giving more emphasis on learning to do. That means skill development and all those initiatives that are taking place. So learning for work and life is the second dimension of it. And then third is, or the most important, is learning to live together. What you are seeing in Russia and what you call Ukraine and Palestine and Israel, what is happening, there is a problem of learning to live together. And learning to be is independent judgment, sense of personal responsibility, and tapping the buried treasure of hidden talents. So it's not only important to focus on just the knowledge part of it, which is the first pillar of learning that we devote most of the time in the classroom. It is important that we are able to sensitize the people, those who are our pupils, those who are in touch with us as teachers. They are groomed in a manner, they are developed in a manner that they become what they are supposed to become. They are able to unleash the potential that they have. So I'm giving you some examples of books, which, like this one, is The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, an evolutionary journey towards awakening your spirit, by Dr. Darren Wiseman. What he has done is he has done experiments on blood cells. On the left hand side you see before, and on the right hand side you see after. So 31-year-old women with a bladder infection, these are the blood cells that you see on the left hand side. And using the power of infinite love and gratitude, release the subconscious limiting belief associated with feelings of impending doom. So these blood cell pictures are good now. The intervention is mainly the love and gratitude. Again, if you see this slide, on the left-hand side, it is about a 41-year-old woman diagnosed with breast cancer. Using the power of infinite love and gratitude, release subconscious feelings of depression associated with being emotionally and verbally abused by her husband. So if we treat cancer by allopathy, radiotherapy, and whatever chemotherapy we do, they are generally working on the surface. Whatever they can see through the tests that they conduct, they work on them. But whatever is the root cause of the problem, if you don't deal with that, you will not be able to resolve those issues. So it is important that we go behind what is being on the surface of it. Similarly, a 9-year-old boy with symptoms of severe migraine headaches, using the power of infinite love and gratitude, release subconscious feelings of internalized anger towards his parents because of their divorce. So divorce is between the parents, and the child is suffering from this disease of migraine. If you give medicine to solve the problem of migraine, it may not help because the problem is somewhere else. So what I was talking to you about, अन्न में कोश, प्राण में कोश, मनो में कोश. So मन में अगर कोई problem है, तो वो gross level पे show तो होती in the form of a disease, but to solve that problem, you need to work at the level of the mind itself. Similarly, there is another author called Masaru Emoto, a Japanese businessman, author, pseudoscientist, claimed that human consciousness could affect the molecular structure of water. His 2004 book, The Hidden Messages in Water, was a New York Times bestseller and still going strong. So if you see on the left-hand side in this, these are pictures of not the jewelry or the, what you call crystals and things like that. These are pictures of water. You would be amazed to see that wisdom written in Japanese, English, and German languages, different languages, the word same wisdom was written. But the pictures which came out, it is like you write the word wisdom on a piece of paper and wrap it around the bottle of water. The impact of that word will go on, or the water will absorb the impact of that word. So whatever word we write or we speak or we think, they have an impact on us. If it has an impact on a bottle of water, our body is about 2/3 of water. So anything that we say, anything that we speak, anything that we write is actually affecting us. So we need to be very careful about what do we speak. If you see on the right hand side, you are cute, a good picture. On the bottom right, you see you fool. If you say, it is like, cancer cells. If you see on the top line, Adolf Hitler, heavy metal music, you make me sick, I'll kill you. It is appearing that somebody wants, to kill the other person actually. That kind of picture is there. Whereas if you see the bottom line, thank you, love and appreciation in Mother Teresa, you find that the crystal kind of pictures are there, which are very beautiful. So every word is impacting the water at the molecular level. These pictures are testimony to that. The photo on the left is of an ice crystal frozen from severely polluted water. The photo on the right is the same water refrozen after having been blessed by Dr. Emoto. One can plainly see that we do have the ability to not only heal ourselves, but our earth as well. And all the tattvas, like water is one of the 5 tattvas. Water, air, fire, earth, space, as we say. So now coming to mind. What mind is? Mind is the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences, to think and to feel. A faculty of consciousness and thought. Minds are like parachutes. They only function when they are open. So when you jump from the aircraft and you don't open the parachute, you can imagine what will happen to you. So if your minds are closed, then you can imagine what your life could be, or it is the way it is, what you are saying. So nature of mind, if you see, it can either reject or it can accept. It can be a sad mind or it can be a happy mind. You say sometimes it is impossible, although the word impossible itself says I am possible. So it is your choice what kind of condition you want to be in. So one is conditioned mind or liberated mind. That is all based on the perception that you have. So a perception is a process by which individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions in order to give meaning to their environment. And it is said that people's behavior is based on their perception of what reality is, not on reality itself. The world as it is perceived as the world that is behaviorally important. तो जो जैसा हमें संसार दिखता है वैसा ही हमें लगता है कि वो है, वो जरूरी नहीं कि वो सही हो। जैसे सूरज हमें दिखता है कि सूरज सुबह पूरब से निकल रहा है, इट अपीयर्स टू अस दैट sun is rising from the east and setting in the west, but that is not true. It is the earth that is moving around the sun. It's not the sun that is moving around the earth, but it appears to be. That is why we all say good morning and we see sun is rising there. So we say, no, it is sunrise time, wake up. But sun is always there. It doesn't rise, it doesn't set. But it is what we see. That is why we believe that, and that is how it is. If you see in this picture, the elephant is held back not by the pony rope, but by its belief system. So you need to think about yourself also. इस हाथी को बचपन में जब रस्सी से बांधा जाता था तो उसे तोड़ने की कोशिश की, वो तोड़ नहीं पाता था उसको, इसलिए जब वो बड़ा भी हो गया तब भी वो उसको तोड़ नहीं पाता, क्योंकि उसको ऐसा लगता है कि मैं ऐसे तोड़ नहीं पाऊंगा, उसका बिलीफ सिस्टम बन जाता है. So are you as human beings, are you as managers, those who are students, or are you as teachers, those who are teaching in the classrooms, have put in yourself in a belief system that restrict you? You need to see that, reflect on that. उसके ऊपर चिंतन मनन करने की आवश्यकता है कि आप बॉक्स में हैं या आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स थिंकिंग करते हैं. Generally in management we teach, like in the book of Robbins, you will see this kind of a diagram where there are factors in the situation, factors in the perceiver, and factors in the target. Today is not the time to have more details on these, but if you have questions, we would love to answer them. Generally people ask this question, what is your locus of control, internal or external? Generally we believe that if it is internal, that is better, which means commitment to create with purity of heart, clarity of mind, sincerity of action. We call it in art of living. These three things are very important: purity of heart, clarity of mind, and sincerity of action. And if you put, 100% attention, totality of awareness with 100% attention makes a person creator of his own destiny. So those who believe in karma, they say that they can create their own destiny. So that is, locus of control is internal. But there is another dimension, which is faith is an enabler which does not allow negative thoughts to pollute the mind, leading to strengthening the thought of what we want to create. So bhakti योग की अगर आप बात करेंगे, उसकी तरफ से देखेंगे, so through faith a lot of things happen. So both are good, or whatever locus of control, internal or external, but one is more connected to the karma yoga, other one is more connected to the bhakti yoga if you get positive results or if you want positive results. If you don't want positive results, you may be in the negative domain. That we'll see what that mean. So mind management essentially is about becoming aware, accepting the reality, and to transcend the future. It involves managing your emotions, your perceptions about people, things, and processes. If you look at mind, it is the sum total of your learnings, conditionings, and experiences so far in life. Mind management makes you reboot your system and look at everything in a fresh perspective. So, our success of life does not lie in controlling the mind. It is in becoming aware about the thoughts. So if you want to be happy in life, what you should do? मनोमय कोश की जो जैसे बात कर रहा था मैं जो है, so if you want to be happy, आनंदमय कोश की तरफ की यात्रा की अगर आप चलना चाहते हैं, तो क्या होना चाहिए? The first is the awareness. You should be aware of who you are, where you want to be, and so on and so forth. And second is, whatever is the situation at this point of time, whatever is happening with you, in and around you, whatever situation poses challenges to you, your colleagues, your friends, your husband, your wife, your family members, brothers, sisters, whatever is showing you challenges, just accept them first. And if you are Karam Yogi, you would prefer to aspire to make it better, a better place to live in this world. So next comes the aspiration of making it better. And then you need to take action to make it better. Otherwise, it will just remain an aspiration, like you have a lot of thoughts in every day. they come and go. So it would become something like that if you don't put that thought into action. And then check whether what you have done is right or wrong, whether it was advantageous for you or you lost something in that. So appraisal is something which is very important. Again, the cycle moves to awareness and so on and so forth. So if you want to be happy in life, these are the 5 A's. Although there are ways of defining happiness as well, like dose of happiness, we say D for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphin. So these are hormonal level changes that takes place. They secrete, so you feel happy about it. So what the scientist was saying earlier in terms of the words, the spoken words make a difference. Happiness makes a difference in your life. So if you are with a happy mind, you are considered to be, or you are supposed to be more productive in life if you put that into action. So it's very simple to be happy, but it is difficult to be simple. And like we say, common sense is a sense which is not very common. It is something like that. So there are 2 aspects of it: seek to understand and seek to be understood. So if you want to really focus on understanding something, you need to recognize with awareness. Like we said, first, important thing is to become aware of what is happening inside you or around you. Generally, we focus only on what is happening around us. We don't focus on what is happening to ourselves. And that is where the problems of mind comes and takes you sometimes in the negativity domain. So whatever is the situation, accept with humility. And another dimension is seek to be understood. Negotiate with reason and deal with kindness are the 2 aspects of that. That whatever is the situation, you need to be kind to people. Even if you are firing someone from the job, that means you're terminating the services of someone, but that doesn't mean you will misbehave with that person or you shout on that person. So you should be very careful about how you are dealing with people. So your mind is, a kind of a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. Like we have done blessing course of Art of Living. So it is like Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji's blessing going to people when we pass on that blessing to someone. So it is a transaction between Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji and that person. That is through that blessing course, you are entitled to give that. So if you think of blessings, you attract blessings. If you think of problems, you attract problems. Always cultivate good thoughts and always remain positive and optimistic in your life. That's a very important lesson of life. You must have read a book, The Secret by Rhonda Bryan. And there is a rule, the principle of law of attraction. So whatever your mind starts thinking, the world conspires to make it happen. So you need to be very careful about what you're thinking. And it is said, the conscious mind which you see in terms of action that you take is only about kind of an iceberg. But below that, what you see here in terms of subconscious mind and unconscious mind, that covers the larger portion. What you witness is only a smaller portion. So you need to be very careful about what is beyond the conscious mind. Then you would realize there are so many things that you need to take care of. So how to manage the mind? If you have understood that mind is so important, Manomaya Kosh is so important because it is connected with the intellect also. And on the one hand, that is going more subtler into that. Otherwise, it is also connected with the Pranamaya Kosh. So that is a connecting link between these 2. So you need to be very careful how do you want to manage that. So one of the ways is Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So when you say yamas, they are like, virtues or universal morality. That is your life in the public domain. Whereas niyam are personal observances. Asanas, as you commonly understand as yoga, they are yogasanas actually, poses or postures. Is like Anulom Vilom is kind of a pranayam. So that is working with your breath. You can be called as a breath worker or energy worker. Pratyahara is about control of the senses, and dharana is immovable concentration. Dhyan is like meditation on the divine, and samadhi is the last stage in this 8 limbs of yoga, is absolute bliss. So all these are there, like yamas, yam, niyam. So one is social ethics, one is personal observances. So in one you say about ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, which means non-violence, truthfulness, non-stealing, abstinence, and non-accumulation. Whereas niyamas or personal observances, they are largely, connected with your physical and psychological selves. So shauch is internal, external cleanliness. Santosh is being happy and content all the time, every moment. Tapas is like a penance. Swadhyaya is self-study. Ishvara Pranidhana is like surrender to the higher power. So these 5 yamas and 5 niyamas are something which is one for the social part of it, outside yourself, and one is the personal observances that is connected exclusively with you. And if you don't follow any one of these also, you will be in trouble actually. You can't be happy if you don't follow all of these. It has to be followed. All of these are to be followed. So what is this asana? What you generally see is a posture that one can hold for a period of time, staying relaxed, steady, comfortable, and motionless. It is said, sthiram sukham asanam. That means the meditation posture should be steady and comfortable. Only then it will give you benefits. Otherwise, it may not give you benefits. So you have to be very careful about that. Pranayama is a control of the breath from the Sanskrit word prana or prana. That is, and ayam means the restraint. So after the desired posture has been achieved, Patanjali recommend pranayama, the practice of consciously regulating the breath, inhalation, the full pause, exhalation, and the empty pause. The next is the pratyahara, that's drawing within one's awareness. And dharana means concentration, introspective focus, and one-pointedness of mind. So dharana is the 6th limb of yoga. It is holding one's mind onto a particular inner state, subject or topic of one's mind. The mind is fixed on a mantra or one's breath, navel, tip of tongue, any place, or an object one wants to observe, or a concept or idea in one's mind. And dhyan is contemplating, reflecting on whatever dharana has focused on. If in the 6th limb of yoga one focuses on a personal deity, dhyan is its contemplation. If the concentration was on the object, dhyan is a non-judgmental, non-presumptuous observation of that object. So dhyan is contemplating that concept, idea, and all its aspects, forms, and consequences. And samadhi is oneness with the subject of meditation. There is no distinction during the 8th limb of yoga between the actor of the meditation, the act of meditation, and the subject of meditation. So samadhi is the highest state in all these 8 aspects that we are talking about. Is that spiritual state when one's mind is so absorbed in whatever it is contemplating on that the mind loses a sense of its own identity. The thinker, the thought process, and the thought fuse with the subject of thought. So there is only oneness, that is called samadhi. And then comes the 3 gunas, tamas, rajas, sattva, the journey which maybe starting from inertia or inactivity or negative apathy, dullness, dark, delusion, depression, ignorance, because tamas leads to all that. So that is one kind of traits of personality. The rajas is the next level, where you have movement from inertia, you have movement from inactivity, you have activity from negativity, you have some energy, excitement, passion, desire, agitation, anxiety, egotism, some positive, some negative in that. And as you move from tamas to rajas to sattva level, you find yourself in balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, light, creativity, openness, intelligence. So if you follow Ashtanga Yoga, actually you are moving from one level to the other, from tamas to rajas to sattva. So you can see the changes in the behavior of yourself. As I was talking to you about the panch koshas, annamay, pranamay, manomay, vijnanamay, and anandamay kosha. I have already talked to you about this. So one is the physical sheet, the first level, the body that you see. Second is the prana. It is about the vital energy, breath, or life force sheet. And the third is the Manomaya, which is the main concern of us today. And the Manomaya Kosha is contained within the Annamaya and Pranamaya Koshas. It acts as a messenger, bringing experiences and sensations from the outer world into the intuitive body. This is the mental sheet that represents mind, emotions, and the inner world. This layer includes thought forms, mental activity, and the awareness of thoughts. Getting in touch with this kosha involves looking at one's perceptions and mental patterns. So this is what mind management is about, dealing with your manomaya kosh, which means mind, emotions, and the inner world. And then comes the intellect part of it, which is the vijnanamaya kosh, shell that is composed of vijnana or intellect. There's a fourth covering of Atman. A large part of this course is in the realm of the unconscious and is a major repository of information. The feeling of me and mine and the faculty of intelligence and reasoning constitute the Vijnanamaya course, the fourth layer of the sheet. Feeling of freshness that I had a deep sleep is said to arise from this kosha. When one closes the eyes and relaxes during meditation, the functioning of the Manomaya course becomes minimum. The Vijnanamaya course comes in the front and gets active. In the final stages of meditation, the intellect becomes stable and mind becomes still, and that is called samadhi. And the last level, or the highest level which one should look for, is the Anandamaya Kosh, which is like a bliss body, deepest and subtlest of all layers, so much so that some people even can't say, they can't use words to describe it. Instead, it must be felt and experienced. Developing Anandamaya Kosh requires the discipline to complete inner work and spiritual practices over a long period. This level of consciousness relates to the essence of one's true self or nature, which is perfection. Transcending all five sheets can lead to state of samadhi or unity between individual and universal consciousness. This is said to be pure bliss or joy. So as teachers, as students, as managers, we need to have understanding of all these aspects and translate them into reality action. And for that, you need to have goals. So one is the vision of life, mission of life. Then comes the objectives and goals. So I have prefixed one spiritual part of it in this SMART, which is specific, measurable, attainable, or action orientation, or realistic and time bound. How we do spiritual, generally we do it in the physical form. When we do प्रत्यक्ष रूप में जब हम वर्कशॉप करते हैं इस तरह की चीजों की, तो स्पिरिचुअल कंपोनेंट को दिखाते हैं. जैसे पानी में आपने देखा कि पानी का मोलिकुलर लेवल पर चेंज होता है, वैसे ही आपकी बॉडी में आपका गोल आपसे अलाइंड है कि नहीं है, ये पता करने के लिए अप्लाइड किनेसियोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है. आज टाइम नहीं है, इसलिए आज उसको नहीं लेंगे. जो है फेस टू फेस जब कभी सेशन में आएंगे तो उसको देखेंगे. इंटेलिजेंस कैन बी थ्रू द लेफ्ट ब्रेन और द राइट ब्रेन और टू द मिड ब्रेन. आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग हैज intuitive development courses, intuition course, or what you call pragya yoga, which opens the middle part of the brain. These are other intelligences which are beyond what we generally see in the textbooks. So here it is the chakra level, the centers of energy, like navel chakra is associated with instinctive intelligence, solar plexus or heart chakra is connected with emotional intelligence, throat chakra or the Vishuddhi chakra is connected with a concrete mental intelligence, which is left part of the brain. Mid-brow is connected with the abstract mental intelligence, which is the right part of the brain. And top of the head is spiritual, psychic, intuitive, and wisdom. So if you focus on these chakras, you bring your attention on these chakras and breathe, say 10 times, with those focus points, those intelligences get activated. So we need to know how to leverage these centers of energy or the chakras to get the results that we want to. This is from the book of Master Delpe, with whom also I have done a lot of courses. Then
बताएं क्या? Yeah.
Since the time is less,
निकालने के लिए आ सकते हैं.
Since the time is less, I'm coming straight away to the last portion of it, which is like David Hawkins' work on this. He has used applied kinesiology to measure the level of consciousness of people. So below 200 level, you see the shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. Either you are in inertia or you are in hyperactivity, depending on you are below 100 or you are between 101 to 199. So if you see people who are having this syndrome of inertia, which is like, the tamas, as we saw earlier in the diagram, you are stuck in the negative emotion. And even if they are hyperactive, you realize that they are below 200 and they have either problems of pride, anger, or desire, and things like that. As you break the barrier of 199, cross that and come to the level of 200, you come to level 1 zone, which is happy and productive. Trust is 250, optimism is 310, forgiveness is 350. Then if you break the barrier of 399, you come to L2, which means peak performance without stress. That is 400, understanding. Level is understanding. If you break the barrier of 499, you come to L3, which is synchronicity and extraordinary outcomes. 500 is love. 510 is gratitude. If you see that book, which Dr. Darren Weisman talked about, the power of infinite love and gratitude, they vibrate at the level of 500 and 510. That means you get extraordinary outcomes if you apply these techniques. That is when Bharatiya Shikshan Mandal, I am the Prant Adhyaksh of that, of Delhi Prant, we say, जो भी काम करो वो सात्विक प्रेम के साथ करना चाहिए उस काम को जो है. So that is at the level of 500. That सात्विक प्रेम से अगर आप काम करोगे तो कभी रुकेगा नहीं. If you break the barrier of 599, you come to the level of 600, that is peace. And if you move beyond that, you are actually moving from physical to mental to spiritual realm. So this is what, if you go beyond 699, that is 700 to 1000 point scale, you are in the state of enlightenment, like Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Mahavir, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, and all such people. For them, the life view is ease, and the consciousness is pure consciousness, and emotion is ineffable emotion. So you need to move from wherever you are, whatever is your level of consciousness, below 200 or above 200 or 200. The purpose of life is to move ahead on this journey and keep on moving from. The name of the book is Power versus Force, what you see on the left hand side, Hawkins 1998. It is based on the PhD work that David Hawkins did in US, and he then started his own academy for this particular purpose. So ask yourself these questions. What do you want to create in your life? Do you want to be a creator or be a piece of creation? Do you want to be a beneficiary of the development process or an active participant in the development process? If you have the answers of these questions, then you can move forward in your journey of managing your mind to achieve those. And you can have the spiritual test, as I mentioned to you, using applied kinesiology. Otherwise, you can ask, and you have to think about what is your agenda of future. So we are open to questions now, because Professor Ramesh said that I should not go beyond 40 minutes. I hope I have finished in 40 minutes, so it's time to ask questions. Any questions, Professor Ramesh, you have received up till now? In the chat box, you have questions, or should I see? Dr. Dharmendra Mehta has said very interesting session from Dharmendra Mehta, Director FMS, Vikram University, Ujjain. Sarthak is saying thanks a lot for the knowledgeable session. Any question, please write the question. Dr. Kavita Shastri is saying, does chanting help one in becoming happy? Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I lost my contact.
So I started on my own seeing I started on my own
seen many questions except that compliments that have been given. And still, I would ask the participants to put the questions very quickly. We don't have time now. We are left with 10 minutes time. Please put your questions as well as also you have to also fill the feedback form during this session.
Yeah, so we have one question like, does chanting help one in becoming happy? Yes. Yes, it makes a lot of difference. What you are chanting is important. If you are chanting with anger, then that may not help. So if you are chanting on some good positive words or mantras, it would definitely help you. And the more you move from gross to the subtle, the more powerful it becomes. Like performing puja is gross, performing mantras is even more subtler than that, having yantras is even more subtler than that, and then meditation is even more subtler than that. So as you keep on moving from gross to subtle, they become more and more powerful, and it helps to become happier in your life. How to balance mind at workplace? All persons are negative. Actually, persons are not negative. They may have some negative statements that they make in your life. So you need to see which statement is negative and which statement of that person is positive. Every person has something positive in him, and certain aspects which he displays to you or behaviors, you may consider them as negative. So leave the negative ones and sprinkle some positivity on them. जैसे कहते हैं ना, दाल में नमक कम है तो थोड़ा नमक ऊपर से छिड़क देते हैं जो है टू मेक इट बेटर. कुछ लोग नींबू डालते हैं उसमें, नींबू डालने से स्वाद उसका चेंज हो जाता है. So I say you sprinkle some positivity on the minds of those people, those who are suffering from negativity, and you will find people around you becoming more positive. So it's like this, that either you make them positive or they will make you negative. So it is said a man is known by the company he keeps. So you become one of them. So either you change the other people in the group or you get change yourselves. So you have to choose whether you want to continue and spread positivity, happiness, joy, love to people, or you want to get affected by the negativities of people around you. So it is your choice. How do you want to handle that? Could it be possible to share PPT? Yes, I have already shared with the organizers. They can share it with you. And then we come to so many messages. Are there psychological support systems in place to help players navigate the aftermath of a loss? That the team coach is one first point of contact. Even the Prime Minister says, "I'm with you." That itself is a great statement to for people to feel that they're the person who is like the CEO of a company, the Prime Minister of a country is saying, even if you have failed in an attempt in satellite or whatever, even the crores of rupees are involved, billions of dollars are involved in that, but Prime Minister says, "I am with you." That itself is a great support system that the country is witnessing now. That is why we are getting so many medals. And in each of these streams, in sports you see weather, or you see Chandrayaan, and so on and so forth. So the no field where we are lacking behind now, because this support system which encourages people to move forward, and if you commit a mistake, we are with you. So if there is this kind of a system in the organization that you are allowed to commit mistakes as long as you have those things like purity of heart, clarity of mind, and sincerity of action, you will find that people are with you to make things happen. And that is how creativity and innovation takes place.
Yeah, Professor Ajay Singh. And I think, I don't know, I have not seen any more questions.
No, I have few more questions here in the chat box.
Please answer them first.
Yeah. Thank you for the informative session. What is the role of Guru? So Guru's role is very, very profound actually. It is like, when you are like you're moving, like you're walking. If you have to reach a destination, you can walk, you can go by cycling, cycle se ja sakte ho, bike se ja sakte ho, car se ja sakte ho, and you can fly also. So in your journey of enlightenment, the guru's role is that he can put you on the flight so that you can move at a very fast pace. Otherwise, you can yourself do it as well. But if you really want to go there faster, it is the guru only who can take you to enlightenment at a very fast pace. There are so many other things also. So what Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji says that you have to become from a teacher to a guru. You have to play the role of a guru. Guru actually means from darkness to light, who brings you from darkness to light. So if you are able to bring people from just one aspect of life, that is they want to be successful, means they want to earn more and more money, they are running behind the material world only. So holistic development of life itself is something which is very important role of all of us. So we have to transcend from our role as just a teacher delivering lecture in the classroom to become a guru who is actually transforming the lives of people in the classroom. So how is fathom the iceberg of consciousness? This is iceberg. When we say you saw that diagram, it only shows a very little thing, on the top of it. So in reality, what you see as a material world is actually is very is we think that is the only thing that we have, but the subtle world I have experienced is much more powerful than the real world. What you feel is the real world, which we call it as illusionary world. So it is the higher consciousness. If you are connected to that, you can download things which are which, or you can develop faculties which open up when you close the sensory organs actually. Like I was sharing with you this Pragya Yoga, one of the teachers here conducted a session with his daughter. His daughter and many other such people, those who know Pragya Yoga, they can read without using the eyes. So blindfold, they can read the text in a book or locate somebody somewhere and so on and so forth. So when you stop using the these the sensory organs that we have, then it allows you to open the faculties which are the faculties of the consciousness. Then you are able to see without eyes. You are able to think beyond what was coming to your mind earlier, and you can download from the higher consciousness what otherwise you are not able to do that. Somebody has asked a question. Dr. Subrata Mukherjee has asked a question: what is the difference between mind mapping and mind management? Mind mapping is more of objectively verifiable kind of a thing, like we say competency mapping and so on and so forth. So mind management is much broader than that, and mind mapping could be considered as part of that. So mind mapping, even computer can help you in mind mapping, but you may probably require artificial intelligence for mind management. Or intelligence of what I shared with you, which are associated with different chakras. So like your wife is not happy with you, she is crying, or she is upset with you, she is angry at you. Their mind mapping may not work at that point of time. So mind management would say that, okay, my wife has a right to be upset, so it's my duty to make her, happy. So what you can do is you can energize the heart chakra of your wife at that point of time, or the spouse means husband. If the husband is in angry mood, the wife can actually open the heart chakra of the husband, or husband can open the heart chakra of the wife. Both ways it can work. So it's about doing interventions in the lives of people, whatever is required at that particular point of time. So mind mapping may not work at that point of time. So I'm giving you just some examples that how you can use the mind to solve problems which otherwise you may think is not possible. So these may look absurd to you, that you can open the heart chakra of an individual, but I'm a healer also. Reiki healer, energy healing I do. I've done the blessing course of art of living. I've done angel healing. So I do all that. So what I'm saying is based on my experiences and my clients, you can say, those who have this suffering sometime in their life, and these techniques have been useful for bringing happiness in their life. Or some cases were like terminal cases, and now they are happy living people. So it is for you to see what thing is required at what point of time, and you can use accordingly. So you can use mind mapping wherever mind mapping is required, and mind management is much broader than that.
Okay, Professor Ajay.
Yeah.
Now we are up to the time now, and I think you have answered most of the questions. I hope I have not seen any balancing questions. Am I right?
There are one or two more. If you allow, I can just.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Like one is asking,
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Can we get these questionnaire which shows scores on consciousness? You can read that book of David Hawkins, Power versus Force. You will see the work of the scores and all that. You can use applied kinesiology to get your scores also. You can learn those. You can attend those sessions as well, which allows you to learn this technique of applied kinesiology. What is the role of attitude in mind management? Positive attitude will take you from tamas to rajas to sattva. Negative attitude will take you from sattva to rajas to tamas. So attitude is something which decides the destiny of the human being in the future. Does solving brain teasers contribute to mind management? Yes, particularly the left part of the brain. Generally, there are very less brain teasers who connect with the right part of the brain. So if you have very specific sessions, only then you will experience those which have the teasing part of it towards the right part of the brain. So there is a school in India which allows people to open both the sides of the brain and work on that. With two hands, they can write two different languages or two different topics, and they can process that. So that is also a technique which one school is actually known for that in India. So there are so many things which are connected with mind and being experimented at different levels at different places by different organizations. So I think.
Okay. I think we should now close. There's one question. Some Dr. Upendra has asked feedback form, please. In fact, feedback form has been given last 15 minutes. There's no need for you to ask that question, and you need to fill up and send it before we close the session. Now, there are one or two more questions, but then I will try to link with my questions in that respect. For example, most of the Indian people were disappointed with losing the World Cup after winning successive games and then losing in the final. And now that is where exactly how Indian players how do they manage that mind? This is the question that is asked by Chetan.
Yes, Dr. Chetan.
So now here in this context, before you answer, I would tell, because I am also ardent follower of the cricket game, and I know even I lost my heart when the India lost the game, but then the sports have to be considered as sports. And this is exactly the theme of your topic, mind management. We are ardent followers of the sports, and also at the same time you are an academician. Sometimes you are successful, you are not successful in your professional life, in your sports, everywhere. But then doesn't mean that we have lost our life. And that's where exactly our mind has to be geared. And this is my suggestion. So don't have any kind of emotional attachment. I think that is one of the themes that you have mentioned in your mind management. Emotional feelings are different, and then your perceptions are different. So all these things need to be maintained when you want to be a balanced person. And if you are emotionally attached, then your mind loses. In my introduction, I have already said 3 states of mind. And that is where exactly if your mind is balanced towards emotions, then you can't balance your mind and you are out. So one has to be very careful, being in the sports or your profession or your employment or your any other thing, that one has to be balanced. Now, Professor Ajay Singh, I want to ask you a very interesting question, which is also very relevant. How would you read the mind of Putin, the president of Russia, when he declared the war against Ukraine? I want to know how would you read the mind? Because now we are talking about a very important topic of mind management. How would you read the mind of Putin?
What exactly you want to ask when you are saying how would you read the mind of Putin? What is
when he declared the war and continued? He initially said that he is going to finish the war in 15 days.
Yeah.
It is 1.5 years. He has not done. So seeing all these circumstances and then experience during the last 1.5 years, how would you read the mind of the president? Actually, now I'm clarifying. When you ask me that question, I'm clarifying that reading the mind in the sense that was that the right perspective of declaring the war against it and continuing the war, and despite all setbacks, and then when his purpose with which he declared the war has not served within 1 month, within 2 months, and then prolonged for 1.5 years, still how strong his mind is. Till now he is maintaining with the same spirit. And how it is in that context I'm asking.
He thought that he would be able to crush Ukraine within 15 days and like that. It's like this, that you have a court case and your lawyer will say you will win. And the lawyer of the other party will also say that you will win the case. Only then you will pay fees to that. So that is a problem with people like Putin, that whatever he will say, nobody will have the courage to say, no, you will not win in 15 days or things like that. So the feedback that one gets from the people around, like people like Putin, is not the reality check kind of a feedback. So that is why such miscalculations take place. And it can go on and on and on like that, because it's you don't calculate what other things would also be associated with one particular country. So it's not a war between Russia and Ukraine only. It's about people who are supporting Ukraine is one part of it. So you are not alone as an individual, or you are not alone as a country. So many times we discount those factors and we assume that whatever we are thinking is the only right thing to happen. That is why these kind of decisions are taken by people. So India's stand is really good in that we stand for peace. So those people fight, with each other, and there is someone who says at the top of it that, okay, both of you are fighting, but I tell you the only way is the solution is peace. So you need to come back to this table and talk to each other and so on and so forth. So India has played the role of a guru in this particular scenario that we are independent and we can buy things from you also, given the situation that you are in. So we will use our national interest on the top priority. We will bring out our citizens from Ukraine, and if the flag is there of India, flag is there, you have to honor, both sides have to honor. So as a country, as a leader, you can negotiate even with those two fighting people or the countries, that they respect, both the countries are respecting India at this particular point of time. So more important than Putin and the other person is that India has emerged as a global leader in this crisis of the world, that the world is looking at India as a Vishwa Guru, that only India can lead the world towards peaceful world to live in.
Yeah, Ajay Singh, it is understood, and in fact, the Prime Minister has spoken so many times to Putin about this war, and then Putin also has assured that it is all done. But initially, even Russia has supplied crude oil at a very 50% concessional rate, and after that, they have increased to 80%. And that is all done. But then the question is that what the state of mind that determines his vision, because it is one mind. The whole problem is just one mind which determines the fate of the two countries, not one country. It is Russia as well as Ukraine. And then also across the entire Europe and other countries. That's where exactly one mind determines the fate of the world. That's how we have seen First World War, Second World War. Now we are thinking of Third World War, which is going to come. So that is exactly the thing, because being a commerce professor, you have chosen a very right topic. And when you suggested me that you're going to speak, I was wondering how is that you have chosen this topic. I was thinking that you would choose something contemporary topic like AI and other things. But then when you have chosen this, I thought you are determined, because I know you have worked in Sri University as a Vice Chancellor, very devotional and spiritual university. So maybe with that background you have that. But then people like leaders like you have to contribute to this kind of mind management of the political leaders, which is more important. Academic leaders is fine, but mind management of political leaders is also very important, because that is going to determine the fate of the countries. And that is
that's true. That's true. That's true.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now I would really appreciate your time, though you are very busy with your annual convention of Indian Commerce Conference going to be held very shortly in Delhi. I'm thankful to you for accepting my invitation to join on AIMS platform. I would also thank our President, Professor Sudhir Sharma, and our board member, all the board members, and also our staff who have facilitated this online streaming. And this is also going to come in various media as well as YouTube platforms. And all the participants, and I still see from the beginning, 100 participants until the end, same 100 remain. So that means that you have really created an interesting mind through your talk. So we are really grateful to you. And with this, I congratulate all the participants who have joined. And I hope you look forward for joining you for our many more future programs on this. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, Professor Ajay Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Ramesh, for inviting me and giving this opportunity to share my thoughts with all the esteemed colleagues and friends. And I invite all of you to join the University of Delhi in December 13, 14, 15. We have the 74th annual All India Commerce Conference. So you all are invited there. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Professor Sunil. Dr. Sunil. Sunil?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Now we are closing.
Number 30.